So you're in an interview and they say, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you have to offer for this position. Why should we pick you? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another series of 9 to 5 Blueprint. I'm Elizabeth Ajadi, your host, and I have here in the studio with me Adegboye, here to give us some information on the HR series that we're currently on. The first topic being communicating your value proposition. Now, what does that mean, Jimmy?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. It is a pleasure to be here, guys, and I will jump straight into this three-letter word called communicating your value proposition. Communicating your value proposition simply means being able to articulate the value that you bring to the table when you're talking to an employer. And that's basically, in layman's sentence, that's what communicating your value proposition means.
Cool. All right, so you're in an interview and they say, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you have to offer for this position. Why should we pick you?
Good question. That question that you asked, tell me about yourself, it's a very strategic question that allows the interviewer get a full end-to-end view of who you are in a couple number of minutes. And so I've seen many people stumble at this question. I've interviewed many people and they stumble a little bit, but I'll give you the simple equation to answering that question today. Whenever you're going for an interview and they ask you, why should we hire you, or tell us about yourself? The simple equation to answering that question is who you are plus what you are equals to why you're a good fit for this role. That's the best way to answer that question. By the time you're done filling in the gaps of that equation, you've taken your interviewer on a journey of your experience. And at the end, you'll be communicating to them why you are the best possible fit for that role.
So I have a question. So, because I always stumble through that. It's like, are you asking me on a personal level, or are you asking me just for my professional overview?
Times have changed a lot. A lot of times now, companies want to hire people that have a good balance of work and outside of work. Back in the days, what we always want to do is communicate that yes, we were very hardworking.
Yeah.
But times have changed right now. We also want to see somebody who has a good balance of life outside of work. Somebody who spends time golfing. I've interviewed somebody before who told me that he went on a sabbatical and he climbed Mount Everest. And what you're saying to us is that aside from knowing how to do your job, you also have a good balance of life outside of work. It's something good to always project to whoever is interviewing you.
Okay. All right, so I'll take myself as an example. So I can come in and say, and answer that question like, I'm Elizabeth Ajadi, I'm a consulting analyst, but outside of that, I'm involved in my community. I have this blog, 9 to 5 Blueprint, where I provide information for young professionals to better themselves. Outside of that, I love networking, I love meeting people, I'm a people person, I love music, I love to sing sometimes. I started to learn to play the guitar, but outside of that, my personal life, my professional life, I bring so much. I bring so much of my life into my professional life. I love to meet people at work, and it helps me develop my networks within my company, where when I'm on a project, I know the right people to meet, the right people to talk to bring onto the project, or the right people that would direct me. So in that way, I've connected both my personal life and my professional life together to help them see how I bring my personality to work.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, you're correct. And when you merge it, you come from the professional standpoint, and that's where you kick it off, and then you take a quick sprint, and then you round it off with what you do outside your professional life, like you just outlined right now. And what you've done is that you've told that interviewer, like, hey, look, I have a complete life.
Yes.
I can be a professional, and I also can be, an absolute socialite. Down the line, initiatives can come up and community projects can come up, and then you be the go-to person. Because remember that when they were interviewing you, you were able to pinpoint the things you were doing within your community. And so they never forget. That's one thing that I've that I've come to understand when I'm interviewing people 9 months down the line, when I come across that person's email, I remember the conversations we had when I was interviewing that person. So they never forget. And a point might come when an initiative or a project or a community or a CSR initiative might come regards your community, and then they start to look for who's more in line with the community, who has a close relationship with the community, and they think, oh, Elizabeth, I remember during that interview, can we get Elizabeth right now? And that's how that story goes. Okay.
All right. You know what? That makes a lot of sense because, there's so many times when I know, especially when I first started work interviewing, gosh, that was such a hard question for me to answer. But I mean, who you are plus what you are is equals to why you are the best fit for that role.
Phenomenal.
That's perfect.
You never stumble. Once you master the equation, it's like the equation to a mathematical question. Once you understand the formula, you never get it wrong. So that becomes your story. Always remember that you're telling a story. Whether you're interviewing for a new role or you're trying to do anything, you are telling a story. Being able to articulate that story is the greatest value proposition that you bring to any interview that you're doing. Whether Fortune 500 company or a startup, learn to articulate the story, learn to communicate the value proposition, and tell that story. Take them on a ride of who you are. That's the way, to communicate your value proposition.
Perfect. And that is the end of this episode. We're going to be showing you another topic and bringing you another topic from the HR series next time. See you, tune in, like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.
Bye-bye.